Hey guys, how's it going? I'm going to be talking shortly about how I refinished the stock of my 12 gauge shotgun, the Beretta Silver Pigeon Sporting, and I refinished the stock. As you know, this is a very basic quality gun, and therefore you don't get too much of a stock finish and a wood quality on this gun. But that's not the point. You don't buy the Silver Pigeon because of its great looks. You buy it because it's a goddamn good gun. And that's exactly why I bought it. But I was obviously not very happy about the finish of the gun, and I thought I would take matters in my own hand, which I did, and I refinished the stock. I used simply the Tru-Oil. That's the oil that you get typically, and it's one of the famous finishes that you have. It gives you a very high quality finish with transparent mirror-like finish, or you can also use some more polishing compounds to make a matte-like finish. I chose to go with the mirror-like finish because that's what I liked on it, and that's what I did. So it's a very simple process and not very complicated. We'll come across YouTube a lot of videos where they're explaining, putting a lot of time in removing the old finishing using sandpapers of various grades. I'm not going to be going into that. I'm just going to tell you how you can refinish the stock by applying Tru-Oil as a top-up agent to improve the finish of your gun, and that's all. It's a very simple process, and that's how the product would look like. Just give you a very good close-up in the light. As you can see, very happy with the result. It's pretty shiny, and I love it for my taste. What you see here are 3 coats of Tru-Oil with 24 hours of drying time in between coats. It's very straightforward. What you got to do is just clean in your stock entirely with just any microfiber towel and just make sure that you don't have any dust particles. Try to do it indoors. You don't want dust particles settling onto the oil when it is wet and not dried entirely. So make yourself that you are in a well-ventilated but still a dust-free room, and you're good to go. Right. So clean off with a microfiber towel so there is no dust on it. I recommend masking off the checkering. Use some masking tape and just carve out with a sharp razor these edges so that you do not get the oil in the checkering. It will fill it up and will leave a nasty residue behind. You don't want to have that. The other thing you want to do is just put some more masking tape over here where the wood meets the action. You don't want any Tru-Oil finish getting over there. It leaves a white, yellowish, well, not yellow, but a whitish residue which might damage the looks of the gun if you care so. Likewise, also on the top here, cover up with masking tape, especially all the edges where it is meeting the action. Just cover them with masking tape so that there are no overflows of the oil over there, over to the action part. Right, with that, you're ready and set to go. What you're going to do is just take very small quantities. This is a 90 ml bottle. It's going to last for a really long time. You don't really need too much when you're topping your gun up. Just take it in a very small container like a glass, or 1 to 2 millimeters of depth. Don't need too much. I use my hands, my fingers, simply rub in the oil and gently go through the entire length of the stock. Important thing to remember is go along the grain and not across. Don't do that. Do this action. It just fills in better, and you will get a better finish at the end. As I said, I did not spend too much time doing this, finishing the stock. It's my workhorse. It's not my Sunday gun, which I just shoot once and shoot around and keep it back into the safe. I use this gun really a lot. Over the weekends, it's seeing roughly 150 rounds through it, so it's being used quite well. And therefore, I just wanted something that covers up, gives a pretty look, and still manages to protect the stock and the wood from the elements. With that said, once I masked everything, after cleaning with microfiber cloth, I applied very simply with my fingers along the direction of the grain, the oil, and let it dry for 24 hours. After 24 hours, I repeated the process, applied again another coat, waited 24 hours, again applied the third coat. That's the result that you get in the third coat. I've obviously used the gun a couple times, and there is some finish gone a little bit. It's not so shiny onto the, for example, onto the adjustable comb here. It's become a bit not so shiny in comparison to the rest of the stock, as you can clearly see from the reflections, but it doesn't really matter to me. The rest of the stock is pretty shiny and has a very nice coating over it on both sides. I really love how the grain is highlighted by the Tru-Oil finish. I hope that helps. Don't be afraid, don't be shy, just go for it. Don't listen to the lot of jibber jabber that goes around in the internet that you need to remove and sand off the old finish before you can even go for Tru-Oil. It's not entirely rubbish, I would say. You can go that way when you want to invest time, want to make a very perfect glass-like, mirror-like finish, and you want to invest time. Go ahead, be my guest, do that. But for all of you guys out there who just want to have a moderately well-looking stock, still look pretty, and still be able to use it without thinking too much or having a lot of guilt that you're damaging a beautiful stock, this will do well. You can obviously top up with the Tru-Oil, so that myth is busted here, and it will still turn out to be good. One thing I should tell you though is topping up with Tru-Oil is not, will give you a finish that will look good, but you will still have to top it up again. The reason being, you don't sand the stock. At least I did not sand the stock. I did not spend too much time sanding the stock and making sure that the grain is filled with every coat that I'm doing. I did not care for that. Like I said, it's my workhorse, so I did not really, it wasn't important for me. It will still do the job of topping up, and because you topped it up, you will see that the finish starts getting a bit less shinier or rubbed off at the grip area and the point where it meets your face. You can just top it up again. It will last you well for several months before you have to do that again. Right, I hope that a small tip helps you, takes out the fear of working with Tru-Oil and you're not sure about the results. Don't worry about it, just go for it. You're not going to mess it up. And if you do, just wait until it dries and do the whole thing down again. Have fun. Cheers.